It's going to be a fun show. You're going to learn a lot today. How the heck are you? Rex Bear Elite Project. Beautiful day today here in Southern Colorado. And I've got a couple of awesome guests with us, backed by popular demand. I've had several requests to get Chris and Patty back on the show. So let me just give you a quick introduction, even though they need no introduction. Chris Burres and Patty Greer. Chris is a chief scientist. Some think he's a mad scientist, but don't let the lab coat fool you. Chris Burres is a seasoned entrepreneur who co-founded the first company to deliver carbon nanomaterials in 1991. Background in mechanical engineering, oil and gas, even competitive soccer, Chris's diverse expertise is matched only by his passion for innovation. When he discovered that one of the chemicals he worked with, ESS60, which is based on a Nobel Prize winning research and studied by NASA, could significantly extend the lifespan of mammals, he faced a moral dilemma in bringing the supplement to market. Today, Chris is dedicated to advancing the ESS60 industry through C60 Evo, the company he co-founded to revolutionize health and wellness. Patty Greer, very knowledgeable about crop circles and films and the paranormal, and incredible theories to back those up, which I would say is the cutting edge. Former award-winning crop circle UFO documentary filmmaker with a legacy of 8 prestigious awards between 2007 and 2017. Patty was the forefront of UFO research, introducing groundbreaking theories about crop circle origins and their potential for enhancing food production. After surviving 2 near-death experiences, she became convinced that ESS60 formula played a crucial role in her recovery. The conviction led her to partner with Chris Burres and Robert Wong to establish C60 Evo in 2019. The company's mission is to elevate the C60 industry by offering ESS60, a safe, purified form of the molecule to improve the lives of people and pets worldwide. So we're going to learn a lot today about what it actually does, what it doesn't do, how it was created, some of the studies behind it, give you a better understanding of the molecule. And let's just jump right in, shall we? Great to see you too. Thank you for being guests on Elite Project. How the heck are you?
Awesome.
Doing so good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you for the amazing care package you sent me. So now I have the facial serum, I got the hair regrowth serum, I've got 3 different flavors in the liquid form, but I've also got the pill forms. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I have been, so this is the new stuff that you wanted me to be the guinea pig for. And I love it. I've been using it every day. I've been riding my bike like a maniac, and I get a lot of sunlight at high elevation. So I put this stuff on my forehead and I put it all over my arms, and it's even cut down on the red spots. So thank you so much. I love this stuff. And the energy levels are crazy. I just got an email from somebody that quit drinking energy drinks. I actually worked with them for a little while in Durango. They drank 3 energy drinks a day.
Wow.
At least. And they're finally off the energy drinks, and they're doing shots of ESS60. So,
wow.
Yeah. Speaking of shots, can we take a quick one? Real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. On the count of 3, cheers.
Cheers.
Wait. Let me get my shot glass ready.
Okay, you got a shot glass. I got a spoon. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello.
You can taste that.
Oh, yeah. So what has been going on? I want to hear the latest about the research and the papers that are out there, and what you have been up to in the field, because you're making stuff.
Yeah. Well, in terms of research, we're constantly pushing. You know, there's an industry that is kind of next to us. Well, let's just talk about like the supplement industry in general. Supplement companies tend not to do research. And the main reason they tend not to do research is that if they do research and the data doesn't show positive things, their business model goes away. And so they don't want to do the research, right? They're just preserving their own businesses as opposed to kind of looking out for the best interest of the consumer. We are continuing to push research forward, and just to give kind of background to anybody who may not know, I'm holding up a model of a molecule. If you're listening, you don't have to rush to your screen or anything. Just think about a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. So you have a spherical molecule of 60 carbon atoms in the shape of a soccer ball. The molecule was discovered in 85 by 3 scientists. 2 of the scientists were based here in Houston. That's where our lab is based. Those 3 scientists went on to win the Nobel Prize for the discovery of this molecule. Again, they won that Nobel Prize in 96. We started manufacturing it here at our lab in 1991. So we're the first and oldest, longest manufacturer of this molecule. We call the molecule ES. Yeah.
Real quick. In 91, wasn't that when there was the experiment done with the rats? Was that 91?
No, so that experiment was finally published in 2012. Ended up being a 5-year study, right? So that started do the math backwards. So that ended up starting in 2008, right? That's I'm close. And so they started in 2008. They actually published the results in 2012. And you're right. That's the next. First, you have this Nobel Prize winning molecule. And then the next amazing thing is this study you're talking about. They did the study. Originally, it was supposed to be a toxicity study because of various shapes on the exterior of the soccer ball cage. They thought it might be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case it was Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So the single longest longevity experimental result on mammals in history is because of this molecule. Our lab provided the material. Our lab's mentioned in that original publication. So not only are we the oldest and longest manufacturers of this molecule, we're the ones responsible for this molecule moving into the health space. So we're excited. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. So it was originally used as like a lubricant for products?
Yeah, the best way to the way I like to describe it, and have described it for 30 odd some years, is that the molecule performs as well or better than the current best material in almost every application. So it makes better inks, better batteries, better tires, better photocells. The reason it's not being used in all of those things is it's extremely expensive to make.
Okay. And so then when you do this, they do this study to make sure. They were like, okay, well, it works amazing, but we want to find out what the health effects are going to be. We want to find out what the side effects are going to be.
Exactly. If man is working with it regularly, we want to understand, like, if he breathes it, is he going to die? If it gets on his skin, is he going to die? And they actually did assume that it would be toxic and probably carcinogenic. And so they put it in that toxicity study. And again, the opposite happens. The scientific process is like have a theory and then do a test. The theory was that it was toxic. The result of the test was that it extended the lives of those test subjects by 90%. Again, the single longest, the next best way you can live longer is called calorie restriction, kind of abbreviated CR. And the way that works is if you reduce your calorie consumption by 30%, you can extend your life by 30%. This is well documented in different animal models. I call that the starve yourself 1/3 to death diet. No one really wants to sign up for that. And because who wants to eat 30% less calories all the time? And then you throw on top of that, it's a 30% extension of life. We're talking about a 90% extension of life in the case of this particular study. And in the case of just taking 1 teaspoon of olive oil with as much of this ESS60 molecule as you can get to dissolve in it.
Yeah, well, that's pretty far out, man. So, so I was thinking the study was a little bit earlier. So it was in 2012 it was released, but the compounds themselves, you started working in the nanotech industry back in the early 90s. That's why I was thinking 91.
Exactly. Yeah. 1991 is when we delivered our first commercial quantities, and kind of spectacular just to talk about this industry. In 1991, all 10 of the most referenced scientific papers were related to carbon fullerenes. All 10 of them. So it was an absolute, it just took the scientific world by storm. In fact, in the early days, people would ask me, hey, what is this molecule good for? And we would jokingly say, oh, it's really good for funding. Because if you write a proposal for this molecule, everyone's so unbelievably excited about it that you would actually you were well funded. And then that kind of waned, and then the study came out, and now, we're talking about a nutritional supplement that's having a positive impact on tens of thousands of customers.
That's cool. Yeah, everybody that I've ever given C60 or ESS62, they love it. They think it's awesome. And maybe we can get into a little bit what makes the ESS60 molecule, the way that you formulate it, so unique. I know we've talked about that in the past, but before we do talk about that, though, I did want to ask you, Patty. So it's kind of like time to clean up, right? Let's clean house. It's clean the mind, clean the body, clean the soul. We're getting ready to go into autumn, and I'm really excited for the season change, but at the same time I'm kind of sad because I'm just having so much fun riding my bike that I'm like, well, what am I going to do when there's 10 feet of snow on the ground? I'm going to have to figure out how to ski. I should know how to ski. I mean, I'm from Park City. You would think that. Now I'm really embarrassed that I just said that. But anyway, don't tell anybody. So what do you think about that, Patty? That like the clean house mindset right now.
Oh, this is total cleaning month. I think that August has been historic in so many ways, politically, with every aspect of humanity. And I think for myself, I've really learned to choose carefully. Like everything we put in our mouth, every activity we do, every night when I go out in the yard to see the stars late, I run my pendulum, as my safe, like, is there going to be a bear or a mountain lion? I mean, I check. It's like I feel like we have to really be mindful, especially with all the gaslighting of health and the secrecy of everything that's good for us. And the history that I have, that I think was I used to make crop circle films. And the secrecy in that industry is mind boggling. And so I had to tolerate being poisoned a couple times and being hit with a really bad weapon. And I didn't really think I was going to make it 6 years ago because I was seriously wounded. And somebody gave me a sample of C60 from Chris's lab. Now, it wasn't the ESS60, which we've evolved to, but it was like originally when they were doing industrial grade. I got a sample and it was like, wait, what? I really feel different. So I contacted Chris and we got to know each other more and more because it was an absolute miracle for me personally. I can't say anybody else, but I was talking about it on all my shows and people started calling Chris's lab. What's going on? Because it all came from him, period. And Robert, I do want to include our other partner, the secret guy that's in the lab. We don't let him out too often because he's like the mad scientist there. We're always coming up with new things. So
reminds me of the Area 51 scene in Independence Day, where the guys down in the lab they meet other people for the first time, and they're like, "Yeah, they don't let us out much."
Exactly.
Remember that? That was
well, I had to cross a lot of barriers for them to show me the lab, but they flew me down. They knew that I was blabbing about the products online because I was so stunned at what it did for me. So we became partners very quickly. And the company, I mean, we're selling to countries I've never heard of. I mentioned that yesterday, and I had to think real hard. Guernsey, this little island off England, but Ireland, Finland, Iceland, Switzerland. It's like all these countries between your show and Lisa Havens and Roseanne Barr. I mean, everybody that talks about us is talking really positively because the products work.
Yeah.
They just seem to help everybody with whatever it is that ails them. And there's so many different things that it affects positively that we're just stunned. Chris and I just are amazed by the testimonials. People with old dogs, they're like, thank you for giving us another year with our dog. I thought we were going to have to put him to sleep. What? I mean, wow. Tears. It's like people have been really grateful. I think that's what I've seen in the last month is influencers and their audiences saying, good God, thank you for this product. I feel different. And at a time like this, when we are being so tested, I'd call this finals. There's kindergarten, there's elementary, there's high school. This is friggin' finals. And I don't think we're at the end. I think we are at the end of the old ways. And I'm getting so optimistic because nobody's coming after us. We are, but we squeak with being a really clean business. And our lab is immaculate, and we follow all the intelligent ways of making products to be safe. Every group of products gets tested before it leaves, so that when our bottle says 0.8 milligrams per milliliters, you're going to get that in the bottle. And I only mention that because we've tested industries around ourselves, and nobody seems to have the concentration levels or the ESS60, which is the evolution of the C60 industry. Chris and Robert also sell industrial grade still for ink and, expensive ink, expensive batteries, because carbon 60 is very expensive to make. They happen to have created the machine that we still burn graphite rods at the heat of the sun in this huge metal machine that they invented in college. Like, these are the original guys, and I'm really lucky to be their partner because I get it for free. I'm going to be taking it the rest of my life. My whole family, including my mom at 95, takes it, and she's so out surpassing everybody around her. I almost feel guilty now. Like she's the only one still standing. They're getting heart attacks and strokes and half my brain, but she's 95. So they're 98 and 91. It astounds me that they still have Breakfast Club, but she's the only one that just read a 300-page book. And I just know it's the Evo.
Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. I read an article the other day about an 84-year-old that's still doing bike races in the amateur level, but still competitive, 84. And I want to, clearly he's doing something right also. We should send him a bottle of C60. Oh, I talked to a guy at the end of December. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I don't know if this gentleman's still around, but I talked to him at the end of 2022. He went on the original high jump journey with Admiral Byrd. And he went on the one in 1939. They took sailboats to Antarctica. He lived in Florida when I talked to him at 102. I've got the conversation recorded. I'll be happy to share it with you because I asked him a bunch of questions about Project High Jump and stuff like that. But it's amazing when you have a chance to talk to somebody that's 100 years old or 102, and it would be neat to give him some Evo and be like, hey, tell us how you feel. That'd be fantastic.
You got it. I'm telling you, you just hook us up and we'll hook them up.
That'd be a testimonial.
We're really serious about supporting patriots right now. All we work with is influencers online that have a positive message. And we've kind of whittled away people in the past that just went in a slightly different direction. Not our choice, but, for us, it's really about having the best life ever. Mentally, physically, spiritually. I don't know how this product does it. I'm still trying to squeeze Chris for, we've got the mitochondria and all the explanations, but energetically and spiritually, I don't know how it does it, but it does for me. Yeah. I'm not making a medical claim or scientific. I'm just saying, as a person who takes it, boy, do I notice a difference. And people that have taken it for a while, and then like Alfred Lambermont Weber, 82 years old, still writing 3 huge books a year. His hair is longer than the frame of the camera. We do shows with him. The hair just keeps going below what we can see. And he takes Evo every day. And he said that he thought he'd quit for a little while and see how he felt. 10 days later, he said, please send me a bigger bottle. And he, instead of doing like a quarter teaspoon he was doing for 2-3 years and doing really well, he started taking a tablespoon a day. So now we have to send him a bigger bottle. But oh my God, 82, he's kicking.
What a stud.
So I feel like a lot of my ads I write, aging is optional. That's one of my favorite Evo lines because it really is. Aging is optional.
I like that. Ray Kurzweil, give me a call, right?
I think there's a really interesting thing that tends to happen as we talk about this longevity study, right, where the test subjects live 90% longer than the control group. And kind of facetiously, I share that if I share that study with New Yorkers, are like, Chris, why would we want rats to live longer? You need to bury this research. This is bad. And then a lot of people will ask, why would I want to live longer? And at first it kind of puzzled me. And then I kind of started putting the pieces together because we don't have this belief that you can live longer without living in an infirm state, right? We have this kind of understanding that I think I read once that 20% of our lives is spent in some sort of decline. So if you change the question, you're like, hey, Rex, if you had the same mental capacity that you have today and the same physical capacity that you have today, would you then be interested in living longer? And almost everyone changes their mind at that point. There's a few stragglers who maybe need to reevaluate what they do on a daily basis, and I think there is a lot of joy to be found, even as stressful as life seems to be getting. But I do kind of jokingly say, like in that original study where the Wistar rats lived 90% longer than the control group, there was no notation that these rats were walking around with little rat walkers and little rat oxygen tanks, right? Like they lived healthy rat lives. They just lived them 90% longer than the control group.
Additionally, they died without tumors. I don't want to be modest about that fact, because to me, knock, knock, that's as important, or maybe more, is to live without getting highly ill.
Yeah, because
We
that's
have to
not really living.
watch our language.
Right. But I mean, if you're like you said, highly ill, that's not really living.
Mm.
So
Yeah, no, we don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you don't want to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that is so cool. So, I mean, I'm interested more about like the mechanics now, and is there like an electric charge that if that gives us more energy? Like, what do you think it is? Because clearly you take it, the energy level's there. If you take it after 5 p.m., oh buddy, you better be ready to stay up, because it's got so like, what do you think it is?
Yeah, and just to share, our most consistent testimonial is that people take it in the morning. They report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep at night. And I'm not aware of anything that you can take. I mean, there's certainly things you can do. If you exercise in the morning, you'll sleep better that night. If you get exposure to the sun, right, and get your circadian rhythm in line with the rising and falling of the sun, you'll sleep better that night. But ours is very unique to not only give you that focus and energy, right? So let's cut out those sugary, caffeinated monster drinks and those which give you the jitters and actually give you an upset stomach. Let's not do that. Let's just have that clean focus and energy during the day, and then also sleep better that night. And when you're talking about, okay, so what might be causing it? We literally have testimonials from head to toe, right? And this is where people have to kind of suspend disbelief, because it took me a while to suspend disbelief. I've got customers calling me and saying, hey, my hair is growing back. It's growing the original color. We've got influencers who, one of them had his big toe was bit by a crab and split his big toenail at 5 years old. And it stayed split his entire life until 65 after he started taking our product, and now it's healed, right? So we literally have testimonials from head to toe, which makes people a little uncomfortable, and I get it. But we have a theory, and it's called the Boss theory, that can explain why we have this, and also answer your question about energy. And the Boss stands for Buffering Oxidative Stress System. We know from peer-reviewed published research that this molecule, this ESS60 molecule, gets into the mitochondria. And we know from way back in the 90s when it was first discovered that it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of the cage. Now, just kind of real brief, refresher, high school biology. Oh yeah, go ahead.
That what makes it an antioxidant?
Exactly. Exactly. That's why it's a powerful antioxidant. In fact, there's peer-reviewed published research proving that it's 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. Right. So that's, again, that's the one. Hey, flu and cold season. Let me get more orange juice. Let me double up on my vitamin C. I'm taking that's the go-to in trying to kind of protect ourselves from whatever we might think we're encountering, or even have 125 times more powerful than that. So in this, the way it works as an antioxidant is also very different. So kind of back to high school biology, you've got the mitochondria, right? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. Every single cell in your body has between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in it, except for blood cells, which have none, and neurons, right? So that's either brain cells or actual nerve cells. They have 2 million, because that's how much energy they take. like every energy source, right? So a mitochondria is the energy source that powers your cells. Like every energy source, there's a negative byproduct. Your car going down the road, you've got this catalytic converter to take care of it. A smokestack off of a power plant, you've got smoke scrubbers that are taking care of it. In the case of mitochondria, it typically uses the antioxidants of glutathione and melatonin. Now, just a little kind of everything works circularly, right? Most consistent testimonial involves sleep. Melatonin is one of the key antioxidants inside the mitochondria. We know that different parts of our bodies can get depleted, right? And I've got this kind of fun example. It's Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras is over, and it's Bourbon Street, and you've got these drunk reactive oxygen species. Now, the reactive oxygen species are the things that the mitochondria and melatonin, that the glutathione and melatonin are supposed to be managing, right? They're the things, if they're not managed, they run around and do oxidative stress. And I think we have a good picture that oxidative stress is not good for us. So here these reactive oxygen species running around Bourbon Street, smashing windows, spray painting stuff, and the glutathione and melatonin, the police come in and handcuff themselves to these reactive oxygen species and get them off of Bourbon Street. But what happens when they get overwhelmed? Well, in the case of New Orleans police, they use a paddy wagon. In the case of the mitochondria, in the presence of this ESS60 molecule, the buffering oxidative stress system that is the molecule, these hold on to those reactive oxygen species. So now they can't run around and tear up cars and spray paint stuff and just do general hooliganism. They're stuck on this ESS60 molecule until that mitochondria can replenish the glutathione, replenish the melatonin, and they can handcuff themselves to those reactive oxygen species and get them off of Bourbon Street.
That's the coolest explanation I've heard yet, man. I get it now. I get it. That's pretty cool.
Think about it. If the mitochondria, and it is the powerhouse of every cell, and you can just reduce the negative impact that energy source has. Again, all energy sources tend to have a negative component. If you can reduce the damage that the negative byproduct does, you will get head-to-toe improvements. That's why we have head-to-toe testimonials from people taking our product.
Okay. And Patty, please. Were you gonna say something?
I'll give you the generic testimonial from somebody not scientific or medically trained. I call it the Roto-Rooter. You put this on a spoon, you put it in your mouth day after day, and you start feeling a difference in your mile-long intestinal tract because all of a sudden you are recalibrating your system, in my opinion, from head to toe. That's what it did for me, my family, my friends. The products, when I give it to people for the first time, I look at the phone when it rings in the morning and I'm like, especially the facial serum. I get the call the next morning like, okay, come on, nothing works this fast. And it's like, yep, it does. So this Evo, the C60 Evo, people are like, what's with your name? It's the evolution, EVO, evolution of the entire industry that Chris and Robert began at their lab in 1991. It was industrial. It was for all these, intense things other than people and pets. And then it evolved with the evolution of our company in 2019 to being made specifically for people and pets. And we're the only lab in the world doing ESS60, which is a different cleaning final product from anything industrial. So there really isn't competition for us in the industry because this is breakthrough. It's kind of like CBD was 15 years ago. People were like, they didn't understand it and it didn't get out. Now it's everywhere. And everybody pretty much feels free to take it because it's not pot. It's not illegal. It still feels kind of clandestine. I don't know why, other than it was kind of suppressed because it's good. So we are not suppressed at all, luckily. But we're just kind of a new industry getting out into the world. So to be working with you and your audience and Roseanne Barr and all the different people that use the products and love the products, that's how we're getting out to the world. And the really the testimonials, I think, are proof positive that the products work. But the other proof that I have as a business owner is that we offer a really good deal for subscribers. If you get it signed for a monthly subscription, you save 20%. It's a nice offer, but you're not obligated. You can cancel in 2 days, even before it comes, but you probably shouldn't. Because if it works for you and you don't have to buy $300 worth of supplements every month, wow, wouldn't it be nice to just get this bottle for 20% off? It's like $75. And feel it. Feel it by day 1 or 2. I feel it within like 15 minutes. So it's a really good investment in preventative for everything that I can imagine. But this year, I kind of surprised everybody I know because with the incidents that I tolerated in the last few years of people attacking me physically, I got so wounded by the end of last year that I couldn't walk. I was like really shut down. And so I had to throw up my surrender flag. And this year I got 2 hip replacements. Yeah, I was really wounded, and I kept going and going because I was lubricating my joints so well with this product. So I wasn't in agony. And when the surgeons saw my x-rays, they're like, nobody can tolerate this level of pain. You've gone past grinding, you know. And so I thought, well, I wasn't in that much pain. I didn't feel great, but, you know, now I got to get it done. So I've had 2 hip replacements this year. And after the first one, I was back on the air after 5 days. My friggin' brain doesn't go to sleep. And they gave me all these pain meds, but I didn't need them. I did it for the day, 2 days after the surgery because it was major.
Yeah.
But then it's like, just give me the Evo, you know, and I had to call the doctor. I said, okay, if I get back on this and not do the pain meds. And they're like, if you can tolerate. And it's like, it's not tolerating. It's really been amazing for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for others because I'm not allowed to, but holy crap. I'm not grinding. I'm not anything anymore because I've got the surgeries behind me, but the recovery has been incredible. And the first recovery was so good that 9 weeks later, I did the second hip. Now, that's a really short time for people to choose. But I said to the doctor, come on, let's get this over with because I'm not suffering. And I think if I didn't have the Evo, I probably wouldn't have been the warrior I was to get through this. But, you know, I'm 71 now, and I'm looking at all these chapters of really fun things I've done. 10 years owning a Harley and just hardcore riding. My vest has Sturgis 5 times. You know, I mean, everything I've done, I've gotten serious about it. And all of a sudden, my body was attacked by humans. Like nothing harmed me. Horseback riding like a wild Indian and riding a 1340cc Harley, just nothing hurt my body because I had built up a lot of strength until dealing with humans and bad behavior. But this product has brought me back. I feel like I'm on round 2 right now. I am. Chris has heard me say, this is my comeback tour. I got a camper out front. I'm ready to like hit the road, you know, start hiking again, start dating again. I mean, it's like, okay, I got to trust people, trust the world, you know, but I watch too much news. So it's kind of hard to trust the world and think, oh, you know, grandma going out in her camper, you know, she got an AK, you know, hanging over her back, you know, with a rack. I don't know, you know, how's grandma
Daddy, if you're trying to extend your life, quit watching the news.
That's hilarious.
Well, again, the thing about watching the news as much as I have to, because I'm constantly finding new influencers to work with, and I got to watch your shows, you know, so I know that we're patriots, that we got the same mission, because we take good care of our influencers. And by that, I mean, when you run out of oil, please let me know. If you're using the facial serum or the hair serum and you run out, please let me know, because the better you look, the better we look. And your audience comes back day after day after day for your shows. They're going to listen to you because they love you. They trust you. So do we. And when they see you glowing like you are and your skin like it is, and you're riding your bike like crazy, and you're saving lives one day at a time. We might talk about our saving lives interesting stories. But for me, I look at all of our influencers and my young partner, Chris. Come on, he's done this since 91. How old could he be? But he uses our products, so he could be 90 and you wouldn't know it.
You got
I'm not
started
90.
at 10.
No, he's 50s, but he keeps getting younger, and we're supposed to be getting older. You never age, Rex. I mean, I'm looking at you. You look like a kid.
Oh my gosh, check's in the mail, Patty. Thank you so much. No,
Evo's in the mail.
Yeah, Evo. Okay, all right. That's what I'm talking about. I would have just cashed the check to get more Evo anyway, but you're hooking me up, so much appreciated. And I got to say, I really appreciate both of you. I love what you're doing. I love your passion, and I love the personal testimonies. And you shine when you talk about it, both of you. Like I can see that. And I will say this also, before I had a chance to try the ESS60, I did get my hands on some of the C60 for a 17-year-old pug. This was before we met. 17-year-old pug with one eyeball, my parents' pug before he passed. They loved him so much. And he took that stuff for about a year, and I feel like it extended his life. And so, I mean, the stuff is amazing. The stuff is absolutely incredible. And I'm glad that it's on the market. I'm really glad that they allow it to be on the market. When I say they, I'm talking about those that love us so much. They love you. So keep doing what you're doing.
What if everything turns and all of a sudden they encourage healthy everything? You know, I think we're really close. When Robert Kennedy just got up there with Trump and he said, these are the things I believe and these are the things I'm going to do. It's all the things that they used to call conspiracy theories. And he's going, no, no, no. I've got the papers. We've got it all. That's my favorite line. We've got it all. So I don't think we're being gaslit, but we better put our brains on fast forward. And I don't think there's anything better for the brain. What a weird thing to say than this edible oil that I take in the morning. I'm really glad we take it at the beginning of the shows that we do with you and not at the end, because my mental focus is impeccable right after I take it. I mean, I'm so impressed with what my partners make down there that it's the easiest thing I've ever sold. It's the best business I've ever had. And we don't really have any competition because there's only ESS60 for people and pets. And it totally works. My family, all of us take it. My kids both take it. My mom, like I said, at 95. Chris's entire family takes it. For me, that's another testimonial. But I was talking about the 20% off for subscriptions. 53% of our monthly sales is resubscribes. That's a testimonial right there. More than half of our sales are every month. Everybody that doesn't cancel because they love the products, it just pops back again. And there are most days where I wake up and it's just like, whoa, that's a lot of resubscribes because they believe in the product and it's changing their lives for the better. So there's a lot of things I bought over my years that are sitting in the cabinet that check the date, toss it, but not this. This, I just realized I've just about gone through another bottle, so I have to put it upside down and drain the last. But even the edible oil, I loved it so much that I would take the spoon and wipe it and put it on my hands and my face before we did any face serums. And I called Chris and I said, don't hate me, but I think we need to do a face serum. He said, don't hate me, but we're a bunch of guys at a lab. You think we're going to do face serums? And now we laugh about that because not only did we come up with a great face serum that's all natural, absolutely mind-boggling, but a year later when Chris was watching the numbers and the testimonials, it's insane how great people have benefited. Okay, he's going to model now the other product because he loves to do it. He came up with another product that is 2 bottles, and it's a peptide plus the ESS60 formula. Different than the advanced face serum with a chia seed base. This is a different formula plus peptides. And the reason he has to freshly activate each time was so we could avoid emulsifiers. and chemicals and put it in one bottle, which most companies do. And if they've got all these words that you can't pronounce, probably not the best idea. And Chris always loves to put it on for every show because look at him. He's 55. He looks like baby face. And he just gets younger every few months that we work together. And it's because I have to talk and he gets to slather.
He gets the slab.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man. And I mean, should we be embarrassed to talk about it, Chris, that we put face stuff on our face?
I got over it.
Yeah, I'm over it too. It's cool.
I think we sell probably men and women close to the same. And it's funny because some of our influencer dudes, like the Inspired channel, he is all man. And he held it up and he goes, I'm going to start the show with something funny. So he goes, okay, I'm all man, but I'm going to admit I use this every day. And there's nothing wrong with having gorgeous skin as a man. And when we realized that everything works with Evo, my mom, 95 now, made a statement, oh, this facial stuff is incredibly good, is every bit as good as my super stupid expensive stuff that has all these chemicals I can't pronounce. So now she only uses this and pure vitamin C. And at 95, she's like butter skin. But we also came up with a ESS60 infusion lip balm. Chris is going to model again. Do you use this when you ride your bike?
No, can you send me some? Because I will. I mean, I'm at high elevation. I'll definitely use that.
You haven't gotten our lip balm?
No. Heck no.
I'll get you some. We have mint and unflavored, and it is really super awesome.
Okay, I'll take either, but yeah, mint sounds the best, but I'll take either. Absolutely. That'd be great.
I'll send you a sample of both. Yeah, it's really good. It lasts a long time, but the mint actually smells like mint, tastes like mint. I can still taste it, and I put it on at the top of the show. It's so good. And our formulator used to work for Blistex, so she knows how to roll. But I said, nothing unnatural. Everything has to be edible. And, so she did a gorgeous job. And the guys at the lab, it's an awful lot of work for $7. They realized afterward, but it's such a good product. And we offer now head to toe really great items. You don't want to put it real close to your eyes, the facial serums, because needless to say, nothing should go real close to your eyes other than eye creams. But other than that, man, we are getting really great reviews.
And that's because if you sweat, it's going to come down in your eyes and it'll burn a little bit. That's yeah, I've done that.
They only heard that from Singapore. I've only heard it once, and it was somebody in Singapore where it's really humid, not human. It's really human.
More human than the human. Yes. Okay, I interrupted. So this.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah, tell me.
I love it, Chris. I wish I had as much hair as you, bro. I'm going to let you know how I'm doing in a few weeks, man. That's awesome. How'd you keep that hairline? That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Our products certainly help. Like when you're improving the mitochondria or removing the dysfunction of the mitochondria, like everything gets better. And when Patty first approached to do a face serum, I got to admit, I didn't even really want to be in the supplement industry. I was a happy-go-lucky carbon nanomaterial scientist. And then I really wasn't that excited for the face serum. But there were also some things that made me think like this would probably work, because we were already getting amazing skin and hair and nail testimonials from people just taking the product orally. So to like incorporate this in an inside out kind of fashion just made sense.
Right on. Well,
and the UTH29 peptide that's in the face serum and the hair serum has 30 years of experiments proving that it's fabulous for skin and hair and nails. So you've got the ES60, 30 years of research, and you've got the UTH29, which sounds like youth 29. And Chris was saying that's like the year 29 where everybody goes, okay, cut it off. I want to just stay 29 forever. That's funny because I used to say 28. My mom's best friend used to change her driver's license so much that she drilled a hole in the driver's license, changing the year. Oh, God, pretty funny. But, we've got a better solution. Take a spoon, every morning, pour it in it, and go and have a great day. Personally, I start my day with the MCT coconut oil in my coffee because I absolutely love it. I wake up, I crawl to the kitchen, and I make a mug of coffee, but I do the silver bullet. So it's like brunch in a mug, and it always has the MCT coconut oil. It is not as strong as the olive oil, the ESS60 in the mixture, just different thicknesses of oil. Some oils will hold more. The olive oil holds the most ESS60 of any. The MCT the least, and our avocado oil, which is really delicious, holds almost as much as the olive oil. So super strong, a little bit less strong, I just pour twice as much, but I never forget to take it. And usually this is all I do during the day. Unless we do a show, I'll do a shot. So my brain is on friggin' fire, which I feel like now I'm ready to go. You know, I take the ESS60 olive oil and I am cooking with gas. I think that your audience should also know not only 20% off for subscriptions, but you have a code for another 10% off at checkout. If you find anything you want to try, take advantage of all of our discounts. Most things you can buy two, get a third half off, including our brand new product and all of the oils. We have dozen quantities that you can save 25%. And if you do it using the link to the Leak Project show, you get another 10% off. That is a mega discount. And if you get a dozen, you can stick them in a closet, give them to family and friends, whatever. They're a great gift because you're giving people little longer life, better days, better nights. And for me, it's about mental aspect, helping us get through this time that we are in right now. And if you're really serious, get the big ass bottle, 32 ounces, size of my head. We go 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16, and 32. And it lasts about 3 years from the time you open it, 2 to 3 years, as long as you keep it in a cabinet or out of direct sun, out of direct heat. Kitchen counter is great, but I go through a bottle a month because I take it every day. And for people that travel, they're going to yank this out of your suitcase at when you go through the screening. So you want to get capsules if you're a traveler, great for a briefcase, but you got a bottle, you called them pills, they're capsules, and they are the olive oil because it is the strongest. It's also what was used in all the peer-reviewed tests. And needless to say, those peer-reviewed famous tests didn't come from all the labs in the world. They came from one, us, C60 Evo, and my amazing partners for 33 years in Texas, Patriot Love and Lab, c60evo.com/leak project. And you're going to get some great deals and hopefully change your life for the better.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. And Chris, thank you so much. I know that you're extremely busy, so you're both extremely busy. And yeah, keep being the change the world needs to see.
Thank you, Rex.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Patty.